Do you read me?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me? Over.
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some, hurrah! What's going on, everybody? Another week has gone down. Friday night's eve, baby Friday. Well, goddamn, it's almost a weekend for those of us who aren't day on, stay on. And we got a really good show for you today. I'm just kind of going in this reflecting type of thing and share some knowledge with you. But let's get all the pleasantries out of the way. Hey, this show is brought to you by yours truly. I don't get paid or anything. I just, this is a venue for me to share good information. One thing that I do offer is financial services in the financial industry. While I can't make any recommendations of social media, because obviously the license that I hold through FINRA, SEC, and being registered with the SEC and all that good stuff, I can help you on doing a one-on-one and take a look at your finances, whether you're getting ready to transition out of the military, you're still in the military, or you're out of the military, as well as anybody in the private sector. I am your guy. I am here to make sure that not only you hit your target goals as it pertains to whether you want to retire earlier, you want to make your VA claims and benefits, your compensation work more for you, put into some things that will help you out in the long run, or you want to achieve some short-term goals, maybe send your kids to school, buy a house, whatever the case may be, I can help. We can just have a conversation. And, at the end, so I help people put strategies together so that they can really, maybe they want to retire early, achieve certain financial goals so that way you can sleep better. And what I do is I offer we can do a free 1-hour service. And basically it's just a conversation where I share what we do, how we do it, and the information in there is very tangible that you can implement on your own right away. And if something at the end makes sense, we can explore more. If it doesn't, just say so. And, hopefully you'll let me know who this make sense to and that I can help. And that's pretty much it. So you can hit me up right here at the show. You can also schedule a free 1-hour strategy session. The link is right here on the short bio. You can also find me on LinkedIn, social media, whatever the case may be. And by the way, we're also hiring as well. So if this is something that you may want, that, because you have VA claims, benefits, things that you would need to do outside of work, because no civilian job, I'm here to tell you, even though they may tell you we love and support our service members, eventually they're going to check you in regards to when you're going to too many appointments. I'm telling you, because I lived it, and I've had several jobs after I left the service. So this is perfect for somebody who, and if you want to do other things, that's great. So let's have a quick conversation, and again, explore what your options. And if it's not good for you or doesn't fit, then that's okay too. The other thing that I do is I also help veterans. I show you how to fish, and in regards to your VA claims and benefits, so you can maximize your compensations. I've helped already several vets. Some of them have been on the show. I've gotten some to 100% PNT. Some I've gotten from 70 to 90. Again, I show you how to fish so you can utilize the system, and I share all my resources, and I even connect with the same people live. I help you get to where you need to be. So, because at the end of the day, nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody, you can pay somebody to do it. They're going to take a chunk out of your compensation, that percentage. I don't believe in that. Again, knowing the system and you getting better, because, something may happen to me tomorrow. And then if now you still can't do it by yourself. So let me show you, let me help you, and let's have a conversation. Okay. The last thing is that, hey, look, this show, again, I do this on my own. I basically spend my time here sharing information, talking to you folks out. If you could help me out, and go to my other platforms. I have over 7,000 followers on Facebook. If you could go to my YouTube channel, my link, my TikTok, and everywhere else, help me, just like, subscribe, and follow. Give me a thumbs up. It just helps the analytics, and eventually, hopefully, because again, I'm self-ran. And the folks from Sitchradio help as well. And last shout out to Brian Colburn. If you want to get into the podcasting and do other things, I highly recommend that you request a consult with him. He'll be more than glad to steer you in the right direction. So, and this show is all about our rights, our constitutional rights. So if you believe in free speech, right to bear arms, and all that other good stuff that we all support and defend in austere environments, then again, like, subscribe, and follow. If not, swipe left and go to sitchradio.com. Check something out from there. All right. So those are all the pleasantries. Let me take a quick swig out of one of my favorite beverages, since we did Ode to Coffee not that long ago. I'm trying to cut on my sugar intake. As we get more seasoned, everybody, we start worrying about shit like, cholesterol levels. And, unless you just were dealt a bad card where, you have already, since you were very young, you had to worry about stuff. But as we get older, we got to worry about sugar intake, triglycerides, flux capacitors, and all kinds of just all the weird shit that, so I'm cutting off on my sugar. I've always, I like coffee. I've always loved, not because I'm just, I'm Colombian or born and raised in Colombia, because I am an American citizen. However, I do love, I love coffee. I drink it every day in the evening. I sleep great. But it's just, I like the taste and what it does for me. But anyways, so today's premise of the show, I'm a huge David Goggins fan. And you could be on the left, or it doesn't matter where you sit on the spectrum. With the guy, I think the guy, not only is he a fellow service member, I mean, the guy, to some degree, our lives, he had a very traumatic upbringing with his life. If you haven't read the book, Can't Hurt Me, I highly recommend that you check that book out. The book is good. The book is really good. I highly recommend you go on Audible and listen to the audio version of the book. It's the guy who does the narrating of the book. He's got a really cool voice, and it's not just monotone. And in between chapters, they do like this podcast thing, so you get more tidbits from not only from David Goggins himself. So again, I like the dude. I like, his motivation style. Some of you may say, well, man, he cusses too much. Well, shit, who doesn't? Those of us who, serve in the military. Well, who doesn't? I mean, we call those adjectives. For a long time with my wife is, as most, the trophy. Again, that's my loving name because I'm lucky to have her in my life. My wife doesn't cuss. I mean, so much so that she spells certain words out, not the cuss words, because she won't say them at all. And believe me, I've tried to trick her to say something in Spanish, but she's pretty much caught on because although she shakes her head right now, she does know Spanish. Trust me, nothing gets by her. Anyway, so in the first couple of years of our marriage and when we were dating, I tried to do my best not to, and we had a cuss jar. And so much so that this cuss jar, funded some of our trips, so paid for some of our rentals. This is years ago, and I think she pretty much is like, hey, I'm going to get rich off of you. So, but yeah. So the point is that we cuss a lot, and he does cuss a lot. But I think his life as a whole, and just his tenacity and what the dude stands for, I like to listen to the guy. There's a couple that I saved on my YouTube history, and I just listened to those. And what I did last week in regards to Musashi, the Musashi Code, I listened to those two a lot. Why? Because at the end of the day, we just don't, we need something to push us and thrive us. The older I've gotten, where in my life I would have gotten a lot more volatile for whatever shit. If somebody would have set me off, I would. And believe me, you can ask. Well, no, you don't want to ask her, because it's just, that's another conversation. But when I was with my kid's mom, and this before getting diagnosed with PTSD, I had a whole bunch of outbursts that, thank God, it could have landed me in jail. They could have, I could have gotten in a lot of trouble. I could have hurt some people. It's just the anger in me. But the point I'm getting at is that, the way he explains things, and it just, it really aligns with me, and how it kind of gets me in that zone that, okay, what am I doing right now? Am I bitching? Am I complaining? What is it? And, because if I'm looking to blame somebody for whatever I got going on in my life right now, I've gotten wiser where everything goes inside. So, we're going to, I don't, it's like he says, I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done, so it's basically, today is, how to get shit done, period, in life, transitioning out. You're going into the Marine Corps, you're going into the service. What do I need to do? So these are just, and some things that I've learned too. These last couple of months have been a lot about growth, and just pushing through it. Regardless, whatever you got going externally, nobody else, and you've heard me say this before, absolutely nobody's gonna come and save you. Nobody. Yes, your family, your loved ones are there to support you. They'll tell you they love you. I'm sorry for you, this, that. However, nobody's going to help you work through your problems, going internal inside of you, and help you, get yourself out of that rut. So today, think about, this is basically apply these concepts, and hopefully you'll listen to this later on, and my hope is that it gives you some type of inspiration. So have a full, number one, there you go. This, because last week I didn't have it. So number one, have a full tank mentality. What does that mean? So just when you think there's nothing left in the tank, guess what? There's more. There is more. So, when you hit that physical or emotional wall, maybe you're going through, you're at a deployment, and you just kind of, you've seen some of your platoon mates, as people getting hurt, people passing away. Maybe you're going through some really bad stuff. You're going through a divorce. You just lost somebody. Somebody disappointed you. At the end of the day, you just gotta get. I hate to say it. You can process it. You can be sad. You can and you can blame everything. You can blame God, the universe, whatever. But it's not God, and it's not the universe. These are just life lessons. And believe me, I can sit here and tell you so many freaking personal stories of just shit in life that's happened to me, where in the past, I would question it. And now I just say, okay, God, what is the lesson that I'm learning here? So, and I use kind of use this, the 40% rule. So most people quit at 40% capacity. So the next time you feel you're being challenged and you want to quit, ask yourself, is this my 40%? Why is there? And now as I'm getting more seasoned, not to say that I'm, not to get older, but I've noticed that when shit gets really difficult and challenging and hard, and it just seems like it's one thing after the other, that's kind of like my telltale sign that something good is going to come out of something good is coming. Like it's about to pop off. So maybe you call it being optimistic, hopeful, whatever, but all those things, just optimism, hopefulness, and all that shit passes away. You just got to keep going. Okay. Number two, no half measures. You got to commit. You got to commit you all the way. You can't half-ass it. Case in point, just because I'm sitting here and reading off my show notes, and the dude drinking some really good coffee, by the way, and just giving you the advice doesn't mean that I haven't done shit half-ass my way. And believe me, it's bitten me in the ass each time. when I was going through trying to get on my securities license so I could help people in the financial industry, uh, there were in some of the tests, I failed the test the first time, and I still went in because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and go in and see what happens. However, and I knew the outcome when I saw the grade. I knew because why? Because I didn't study, I didn't apply myself. There's been in the past too where while I was in the military, I mean, I was trying to apply for certain programs and things like that, but however, my service record book didn't speak for itself. Neither did my fit reps, none of that stuff. So you have to, you got to commit all the way. So whether you go into the gym, you're trying to get sober, saving money, it all demands full commitment. And so who was this? I don't know if it was Einstein or the definition of insanity is doing the same shit over and over again and expecting a different outcome. You got to change something. You got to tweak it. You got to get uncomfortable, but you got to, half effort, half reward. So, and you know it. You got to own it. You got to own it and know that the simple fact that if you're half-assing things, you're not going to get anywhere. So, so work on that. Number 3, detox the distraction. God damn, and man, I'm telling this to myself because we do have a lot of distractions. Case in point, I got this fucking phone right here in front of me. It's not distracting me right now because I silenced it. But I've gone as far as removing pretty much all social media from this phone because these things become a distraction. And it's already been said, the average time when you start doom scrolling and before you catch yourself, the average time is 23 minutes. And I'm telling you, it's like, oh shit. You just kind of like, you go in there and like, before you know, it's like, oh shit, half an hour just go by. You got to get all this. If you want to do and take yourself to the next level, you got to turn off the lights. You can't live off the posts. You can't just be, doom scrolling and all that stuff. So if you're checking, if something that you wrote, that went viral, you got to stop checking to see, oh, where is it at? Because at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit. Nobody does. So you can read the book. What is it? Atomic Habits. If you read on that book, will also help and get you out of that. If change little things that will pay you, get that time back. Okay. And maybe set up a daily reminder. Hey, this is my time to block out doom scroll and whatever else that I'm going to do. So sharpen your focus. Number 4, 10-point accountability system. Hit your 10 points a day. I do my best to hit my 10 points, and what I do, obviously I have a little formula as to, okay, if I get a new name, that's a point. I get a phone number, I set a meeting, that's a point. I do a meeting, that's a point. I talk to, I meet a new person, that's a point. I schedule another follow-up, that's another point. So by the time I get to 10, that helps me kind of be accountable for myself. Okay, what's my activity? What have I done? If I've been fucking around, then that's on me. So define what your 10 points are, whether it's fitness, outreach. If you're putting content on social media, then do that. Studying, prospecting, whatever that is. But develop your style and be consistent. And what does that do? It gives you just kind of like a daily, you start collecting data, and whatever it is that you're doing, like in my case, helping people, meeting people, or bringing, or onboarding new teammates, that just kind of, then I can say, okay, these activities are the ones paying me dividends, and these are the ones I need to cut away. So daily discipline builds compound results. Number 5, operate with a plan. Don't be a leaf in the wind, just kind of like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and things like that. And believe me, I've been kind of doing that these last couple of months. I was kind of doing that. Obviously, I had some personal stuff going on that obviously and that was kind of like the noise kind of distracting me. But once I buckled down, I kind of start, I'm like, okay, this isn't working. What do I need to do? And that's when you seek higher guidance and go to your mentors and say, this is what I'm doing. I need help. Please help me out. So, have a strategy, because that's gonna, beat the, that kind of like mindless hustle that you're doing, and it'll just prevent from you just kind of floating in the wind and not doing anything. So every day, at the end of the day, okay, what did I do? What's tomorrow? What do I got? And that just kind of gives you, and then build your week out. On Sundays, that's my day in the afternoons to just start transferring. Okay, what am I doing next week? Or, because I try to keep, I try and I work towards doing, hey, if I had an appointment next week, I list it, I put it on there. But Sundays is kind of catch up. Okay, where did I fall wrong? Who do I need to, bring to next week? And what are my, my circle backs, follow-ups, whatever you want to call them. Okay. Number 6, real talk with real people. Talk to your community and don't be fake. So, and this is when you're building your network. And by the way, if you're getting out of the service, retiring after so many years, or even 4 years, some people this is up to you. Some people may say LinkedIn may be archaic and there's other platforms out there. It doesn't really matter. Just build your network and build something that you can stay in touch and engaged. That way, because you never know where your next gig is going to come from. I've gotten jobs after I got out by meeting people on LinkedIn, putting myself out there, and among other platforms. But always reach to your industry, because you don't know, what else they can help you with. Maybe this person does this. Maybe they can help you transition with that. Somebody else has walked those shoes. So again, talk with people. Obviously David Goggins says he's not a charmer. I can tell you that, but he's built a lot of respect and people respect him. So same thing, be a servant and be of value when you're meeting these connections. And generally, and one thing I can tell you this is when you're talking to people, be genuine and talk to them and listen. There's a freaking reason why you got one of these and 2 of these, so you can listen more and shut the F up and talk less. Listen, when you're generally listening to people, and believe me, I've had this talk with myself in the mirror all the time, is, because when you're talking more than somebody else, people don't like that shit. Man, this guy talks too much, or this guy, I couldn't get a word in. So if that's you need to work on that. Okay. Number 7, do it when you least feel like it, man. And it's like Mike Tyson says, it's like doing, those days when you wake up that you don't want to, or doing something that you hate, like you love it, right? So, because fuck your feelings. You're gonna get up one day and and man, I'm a really good example at this. I unfortunately, given a lot of situation too, and there were some external factors as well as some internals. Nonetheless, I allowed a certain individual in the private sector to really dictate. It was just a really toxic environment. I just didn't want to go to work. It was just really bad. But nobody cares. I still have to get up. I still had to go to work. I had to, stay hard. I had to stay hard in the sense that, hey, I got to go do the man thing, put my big boy pants up, and just go do it. Because if not, we don't eat. I can't, regardless of what I got going on in here, I'm more vocal now. I let my, I'm struggling right now, mentally. I don't know what to do, and it's now I don't carry that load by myself. My wife, if I talk to my kids and they ask, I let them know. But you have to, emotions are a weather and discipline is your armor. So you got to have a mental callous moment. Again, you got to put your big boy pants up. Cold mornings, dark times, bad news, doesn't really matter. We got to do this shit anyways. Right? So number 8, you got to block out. You got to block out the noise and stay committed. You got to filter out the noise. Maybe, I don't know, I am sometimes I go stale in the house when it gets too quiet. I need some background noise. I was maybe you have ADHD. Who gives a shit? I mean, I grew up, in my era, ADHD was ass whippings with la chancla. Your mom chasing you with the belt. You want to fidget in school? Let me fix you. So that's nonetheless. However, when I'm there, I'll put some AirPods, so whatever, and I just kind of stay focused and start doing work. Because when you find yourself too many voices or just kind of getting distracted, and even so, because yesterday I had a talk with my mentor at the office, is that I could go to Starbucks all day, but I could just do random shit, be on the computer, look like I'm working, but did I really get anything accomplished? Did I talk to people? Did I meet with clients? Did I set myself up for next week? Did I help somebody invest? Did I help a family protect themselves? No, and we do this with life in anything that we instead of doing what needs to be done, we kind of patch those holes with random shit and then end up not doing anything. And then you feel guilty, like, fuck, man, I didn't do anything today. I didn't do my day. I wasn't productive. Well, that's because you didn't do the do. Again, I'm speaking from experience. I'm telling you. So that's why you gotta have an account, somebody that can keep you accountable. For me, it's the trophy. If I'm doom scrolling or whatever, say, hey, do you think this serves a purpose right now, or to help you accomplish your mission? Say, oh shit, and she'll do it in a really cool manner. But she knows what she's doing, and automatically, oh, you're right. Boom, I shouldn't be doing this, and I get back on track. Hey, we all do it. Just having somebody that keeps you accountable, and that you don't get your feelings hurt. Again, fuck your feelings. Don't get your feelings hurt. That person loves you, and especially I asked her, I said, hey, keep me in check, because I do, and she does have a great quality of saying, man, I wish I could I could do some of the things that she does in regards to that, but hey, I'm not perfect, right? And that also cut out the people, cut out the noise, the haters, the ones that doubt you. Sometimes even family, because of their best interest, they're trying to help you out. Like, no, mijo, you shouldn't. Not my mom. I'm just saying that Hispanic mom voice. That, mijo, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to get hurt? Blah blah. No, fuck it. Don't. It ain't over until it's over. Don't quit. Okay, so get back at it. So keep the mission tight and your vision tighter, because you know what? It's So it's one thing that I like to say is, I'll see you at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded, right? And trust the timeline. You got to allow the process. Number 9, trust the timeline. Allow the process to run its course. Men, you don't know. You just don't know. Even in the military, one thing that we say, hey, never fall in love with your plan, because your plan is going to change. So, and that's why most commanders would ask for 3 COAs, 3 courses of action, because they want to have choices. So same thing, have some courses of action, and don't expect that shit is going to go smooth and that things are going to pan out the way they pan out. You gotta allocate for oh shits, and even when they happen, you gotta just accept them and just, hey, you know what? It is what it is. Things are, we're still a go. Everything is green. Whatever. Just still execute. Keep moving forward, because hard times hard times will pass, because God in the universe is working for you. But are you working for you is the question. So there is no finish line. There's only checkpoints. So, don't get comfortable. I got here. I made it. Woohoo. I got the next promotion, the next this, that. And you're like, oh, great. And then, when you get comfortable, that's when shit happens. So don't do that. And number 10, this one, so many people. Number 10, don't cheat the grind. I'm telling you, folks, nothing that gets built quick, it doesn't last. If you don't believe me, talk to, go look, Google right now, what is the percentage or the likeliness of somebody that wins the lottery of being broke all over again? And it's shocking. It's shocking what it is, because, again, why? We can sit here and analyze that, but those people didn't have a financial background. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. I tell you. So same thing is pain is where is the tuition for greatness. Okay. And lessons live in repetition. I no longer see failure as something bad. I see them as like, man, that was a good, wow, that lesson sucked. Okay, I learned from that. So, and we're all looking for praise, and sometimes even quiet mornings mean something. Okay, so every day is a new battlefield. Are you learning the terrain? Are you doing something to get you ahead? Not, and again, nothing fast ever lasts. Okay, yeah, it's great. Those moments are short lived. But you gotta keep going. So keep moving in the right direction, and and see the grind as part of the process. That's why a lot of people don't like being self-employed, because we've been sold on this agenda that, oh man, you gotta get a job, you gotta get benefits, all this other shit. And again, those are all good. Those are good things. And by the way, I'm not knocking it, because I served that master. I worked in that environment. I mean, heck, for all intent and purpose, the military is a regular job, even though oh no, I remember 24/7. Dude, you get paid every 2 weeks. You go to work, you get paid. Because nobody, I'm telling, unless, heck, even a military that is mandatory, they get paid too. So so don't, that's why a lot of people get sold on this agenda, and then they're afraid to do, because they just don't want to go, pay that price of sacrifice, maybe sacrificing their time outside of work without changing, whatever it is that they're currently doing, to build something magnificent or something great, whether it's have their, get physically fit, lose weight, start saving, build your own company, start acting, going to school, whatever. I mean, all the good things that are fucking good for you, and whatever else is that it takes hard work, dedication, time, effort. It's not that, and by the way, it's not that you don't have time. That's because I have 24 hours, just like you, just like the president. It's just that it's not a fucking priority. Oh, and you can hope and wish all you want, but that job is not gonna get, your job is not gonna get, you're not gonna get promoted. That job is not gonna get better. You're not gonna develop that app that you want to develop. You're not gonna write that book. You're not gonna get ahead. You're not gonna lose weight. You're not gonna start working out. You're not gonna do a lot of those things. So see, once those things become a priority, whatever that may be, you're gonna get in. You're gonna reap the benefits, because you got to put one foot in the other. Number 11, you got to be your own hype man, and this kind of goes back with nobody's coming to rescue you. Be your own cheerleader. Nobody's coming to save you. Absolutely nobody. You got to do the work. You got to do the hard time. And, if the voice in your head doesn't believe you, train it and tell that bitch until it does. Why do you think about this? Go back and, why do you see little kids that, man, kids have the greatest imagination. Kids have this mentality. And I wish I could go back in time and just think like, nothing was impossible when I was a kid. Absolutely nothing. I was a fucking superhero. I was Superman. I was a cowboy. I wanted to do, all these things, and nothing was impossible. Absolutely nothing. And then we get old or older, or we start going to school, and then we have people telling us, no, you can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Now, within reason, you can't murder people and all that other shit. Right. But I'm just saying that, no, you can't, you should be this instead of that. You got to be that. And then we just kind of get molded by what society wants us to do. So you got to be your own cheerleader. Okay. Because you got to keep telling yourself, hey, we got this. We die trying, or we don't stop. I mean, I literally tell myself, hey, today, I believe today something wonderful is going to happen. First words out of my mouth when I get up. Well, as soon as I open my eyes and I'm getting out of bed, those are the first things I say. And then right before going to bed, I'll say, I believe something wonderful is going to happen tomorrow. Period. Why? because that's optimism. That sets the tone for the next day, because only you can your internal weather is only controlled by you. Okay. Number 12, you got to lead from the front. So help others grow and you'll grow too. Be a servant of others. If you have teammates, if you have your own, your own company, you're out in the community, you gotta help others. It doesn't mean holding their hands or anything like that. It just means pulling people up, pushing people up and leading people up. Whether you're a manager at a company, a good manager, a good leader grows and develops the people, those beneath him, and that when they leave, they can, man, my manager was amazing. This person was great. They developed me. Don't be the asshole that people run away from you and and leave that good job or whatever that may be. So grow your crew, build your fire team. You can still bring some of those things out in the public and get that much better. So create a culture of accountability and excellence. And then 13, don't be dead weight. Don't be a freaking sandbagger. Don't be that one, or David Goggins calls it ducking boat. When people are ducking boat, and when you're doing boat drills, some people go to the back because that's where the weight, and it was for the short people, it was the part where they didn't have to lift lifting that heavy load. So don't be a sandbagger. Don't be a shitbird, man. Take the shot. Take the initiative. Carry your pack. Help your team members. You're a leader, and act, and when you act and not talk, and when you talk. So less this, a lot more doing. Okay, sandbags sink boats, and sometimes so much so that some people will sink the entire fucking ship just because they're not in charge and they think they should be. I'm telling you, oh my God, that one I lived in the private sector. So don't be the one that drags the mission down. Okay. Don't be that, don't be the one as my drill instructor said, don't be the one, right? Are you that individual? This is a call to action, everybody. You have to be out there and be of service and be you, accountable to you. You got to get ahead. You just can't, and don't look for other reasons and, she, her, whatever else, man. Not to kind of cross streams, but that one speech from Rocky, is it Rocky? Yeah. The one where he's talking to his son, the world is full of, people and blah, blah. Cowards make excuses, and that ain't you. When he's telling his son, that one speech, you can put it up online. But I mean, it's true. I mean, world doesn't give a shit. Okay, it's all up to you. You got to make it happen. Period. And then don't ever fall in love with plan. Everybody has a plan, like Mike Tyson says, until you get punched in the face. Now what? Okay, so you just got to be able to take the punches, get back up, and make shit happen. So if this show was of good use, apply these 13 principles and dominate it for the next 7 days. Listen to that book, Can't Hurt Me, and then put your thoughts and comments on the show. And if you need a cheerleader, you need somebody to kind of motivate you and steer you in the right direction, hey, hit me up. I'll be more than glad. I do this for several people. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to go visit. Somebody's been on the show. They are actually going through an inpatient program. I don't want to say their name, just for privacy purposes. They're up at the VA here, a couple of hours away. We're gonna go see them, and just bring him a little bit of joy. I mean, he's going through it. He's doing the hard work for him. Mainly for him, also for his family and for his future. So, say a little prayer, just say a random prayer for my dude, and and just keep him in your thoughts as well. Hey, look, and listen, if you've been struggling, you've been having a hard time, I know that life will kick you in the teeth every once in a while. And if that's you, don't be shy to reach out to my show. Reach out to somebody, TRICARE, Military One Source, VA Suicide Hotline. But just talk to somebody, because Nobody here wants you to be part of that statistic of the 22 a day. Nobody wants, doing push-ups and all the challenges are great in the name of veteran suicide, but that doesn't mean shit. It ain't going to bring you back. I'd rather talk to you off the ledge while you're here and get you the help that you need instead of talking at your eulogy. So, all right, folks. Well, that's it for today. I just want to, I think this is a good time to end it. So with that being said, everybody, Aistamas, Daisuki, see you next week. Ara, get some.